And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Howdy folks, today we're going to talk about Knock Your Blocks Off. This is a game which includes speed and dexterity, quickly building something out of blocks and then trying to knock someone else's over. Wait a minute, doesn't that sound like kindergarten all over again? It does, but they've made it into a game. Let's look at it. Each player has 6 dice plus a die with a crown on it. And on your turn, everyone is going to roll the dice and then attempt to put them together into a structure. Now I'm going to show you the structures based on their sides, because the sides is the only thing that matters. When you put them together, all you have to do is simply put together white and purple faces. So if I did all these like this and then put it face up in front of me, that is considered to be a wall. Or if I did the same thing but stood it up like this, that would be the tower. You can also build yourselves a fort. Let's see if I can get myself a fort here. There we go. And you can also build yourself a gate. A gate stands up like this, a fort like this. And then finally, the last thing that you can build is you can build yourself a tower. Or staircase, I mean. And it's hard to see these. Like I said, it's easier if I show them like this. But you're trying to build these as fast as you can. When you're done, you put your crown on top. The first person who does so is going to take one of these tokens. Unless, of course, you build a wall or a tower. Of course. But unless you build a wall or tower, in that case, you do not get the bonus points because they're so easy to build. Then each player is going to take a turn and roll a die. And this die is going to show how they're going to attack someone else's thing. So let's say, for example, I'm attacking this staircase here. If I roll the dragon to attack it, then I'm simply going to put the dragon, I'm going to raise it 12 inches or more above the table and drop it and hope to knock off the crown. Of course, it bounces all over the place. In fact, it's probably best that this game is played on the floor, if only because the die is going to bounce everywhere. If I roll the troll, I'm going to toss it, stand back and toss it, and try to knock them over. And if I roll the boulder, I'm going to put it down and flick it at it, trying to knock over everything. If you do knock over the other person's tower, or knock off the crown at least, then you get a point. If you don't, they will. Each one also has a special ability, as shown on this card. The tower, if you are successfully defensive, you get an extra token. And on the wall, you roll the die twice and pick which one you're going to use. For the gate, if you're successful, you get an extra token. For the fort, you are vulnerable to boulders. If the person attacking you rolls a boulder, which is 50% of the time actually, then you automatically get a point. And the steps, if you miss with your first attack, you get a second attack. And that's basically it. You will keep going until one person reaches a certain amount of tokens, depending on how many players are playing. So let's say you're going for 5 tokens. The first person to get 5 tokens is the winner. Obviously, there's some speed in the building as fast as you can, but the rest of that is basically just skill in shooting the die at the opponent's buildings. So that's how you play the game. Obviously, there's some speed aspects to it. And it's not hard to match the things up. So you can play with little kids, you could play without the speed aspect, and then just play where you're throwing blocks at. Now, this does have the ability to make kids cry as you destroy their creations, but it's a one-time shot. If you miss, they're going to have to knock it over anyway. And if you make it, you get a point. And so obviously there's some skill involved, and you have to kind of come to some kind of group consensus about how high you're going to hold the die or where you're going to flick it. Can you put the die here and go woo, and then drop it? You know, we had to make some rules where you just had to eyeball stuff and throw it in. But I like it. It's an entertaining idea. Let's see what the kids think. What do you think of Knock Your Block?
It's fun because you get like lots of cups and you knock it over.
You like knocking other people's stuff over? Do you like when yours is knocked over?
No.
No? All right, let's see what Amy thinks. Come on, Amy!
I think it's cool because, well, sometimes when I look at the front cover, it makes me laugh because there's a king and there's an ogre that's angry, and when I looked at that, I just went like this when it was my turn, and I dropped it and it went destroyed.
Yes, not and mine. Thank you. You always destroy mine. Well, so you like the game?
Yeah.
All my kids like the game a lot, and we had a fun time playing it. But like I said, I'm not going to say point fingers at anyone, but there may have been tears shed in the game, and you have to get past that point. But it's a game for getting past that. So mixes dexterity and speed. Check it out. Knock your blocks off.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.